up, scrubs? What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's been a little bit, like a week maybe since I've cast last. I wanted to bring you a game. This is the Wings Gaming, or Wings Gaming, or Wings, against Team Liquid. This is at the Summit 5. This is part of I think it was a 3-game series where Wings actually prevailed, ended up prevailing. But this is actually a game I'm going to cast. The Faceless Void, actually. I wanted to talk about the Faceless Void because I watched this game and I thought, oh, how the hell is Liquid going to beat this lineup? Like, really nasty. And just the ability of Shadow Demon to save people from all kinds of nasty things like a Faceless Void ult or a Lion, all kinds of things. Lion Ultimate, potentially. Ogre Magi, all kinds of stuns. Great lane dominance. Tidehunter, you can't really walk into Tidehunter. He just will just ult you. And then Luna, with the pushing power of a Luna and then the mid-Storm Spirit. Just a really great lineup. And they're going into a Elder Titan, Faceless Void Lion, Timbersaw, Medusa combination there. Medusa, obviously a very late game carry, produces a lot of damage later on, but with Shadow Demon's ability to copy Luna, Luna doesn't even need to be in the fight, and Luna's illusions can just sit back and just start wreaking havoc. If she gets some sort of a diffusal blade or something, she can just reduce Medusa's mana to nothing. And then you've got the addition, the Storm Spirit zip-zapping around the map. They have decent stop, I will say that. They do have a line, the Faceless Void, to potentially stop the Storm Spirit, but that's really all they have. And I think this is going to be a game where the Faceless Void needed to do a lot of work, and he did. This was played by Mind Control. This is the now, I guess, famous Mind Control Faceless Void. He's played a lot of Faceless Void in the off lane. Sometimes Liquid plays Faceless Void as a carry. Clearly, with the Deuce in the game, you're not going to have a Faceless Void be a carry. He is going to be a semi-carry / support almost. Timbersaw, the other core in this particular lineup, going up against some tanky heroes here, the Ogre Magi and the Tidehunter, but his pure damage is going to rip right through that armor, so that is nice. Shadow Demon, however, going to be able to destroy the Timbersaw if he disrupts and then puts Soul Catcher on top of him and then disrupts any of his charges he has, I guess. So that's not disrupts, but alts. I forget what his alt is called. Purges any of this. I think he can purge off all of this armor and health stacks. Now, of course, that's assuming a one-on-one matchup there. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of the people in the area. But the real reason I'm casting is because Faceless Void played so well this game, and he really showed, I think, the strength of a Faceless Void, especially in an off lane. And they needed a Medusa, I think, to help bring this all together. But regardless, he went like 8-0 and 22 or something. And I think it's high time that I bring you a Mind Control special. I don't think I've covered Mind Control yet. He does a number of heroes, and he does them very, very well. Let's keep in mind, Team Liquid is like 3rd in the world or something right now. 2nd in the world, best team. OG, probably Wings Gaming, Liquid, Newbie, 3rd or like the top 4 teams right now. So here at the Scrubcast, I'm just going to go ahead and click on Player Perspective. I'm going to put it on Faceless Void, and we're going to go ahead and see how Mind Control masters the Faceless Void here. What's he doing here? Game started off paused. I guess they didn't decide who they wanted to play what, but it's pretty obvious to me. So we'll just fast through the pause here. Okay, so that was that. Somebody said they were going to the toilet. I actually remember that was a joke because apparently Wings suffered a 20-second penalty for one of their players going to the toilet. I don't really understand why that was. Why do you penalize somebody for taking time to go to the restroom? Did they already waste time? What was up with that? So that was pretty odd. But this pause goes away pretty quickly from what I remember. Come on. Oh, look at him. He's having a spasm. Come on, Titan. What are you on? Are you on Sid, man? What's going on? All right. This is getting... There we go. They're all populating in here, and we're going to reduce the speed a little bit. The wonders of technology, the ability to Scrubcast, we have the ability to replay, and we have the ability to pause, and we have the ability to play again. Wonderful technology. Thank you very much, Valve, for making that possible. Okay. Faceless Void. What's going on here on Mind Control? Mind Control brought us a stout shield. It's got 8 tangos and a healing salve and a sentry ward. Okay, so I would assume he also immediately scaled in Time Walk. He realizes he needs to put a point in a Time Walk. Time Dilation, okay, but the Time Walk being the primo escape mechanism for an offlane Void. Faceless Void. So he has a lot of regen. He knows he's going to have problems here in the lane. I mean, he's going up against, at this point, it's going to be a Luna and a Shadow Demon. Probably. Maybe a Luna Ogre Magi. But probably a Luna Shadow Demon. I'm guessing the offlane is going to be Ogre Magi Tidehunter combination. And they're going to be going up against the Medusa Lion combo. Maybe Elder Titan. It's a trail lane. Not really sure. It looks like Mind Control's here all by himself in the lane. The closest person to him is an Elder Titan. So it may be that the Elder Titan is going to help get the rune and then go somewhere else. Maybe he's going to join him in lane. Regardless, the Faceless Void needs a lot of regen. He also needs a little bit of damage block. That's where the Stout Shield's going to come from. Mind Control getting in position to get this rune. Now keep in mind, he's not too afraid of these guys because he does have the Time Walk. So he can get out pretty quickly. Okay, here comes the Disruption. We're trying to blow him up, but you know what? Gone. Gone. And he had already eaten a tango to start off that fight. He pre-tangoed, folks. If you know there's going to be a battle and it's a level 1 shitty-ass battle and you're just going to have people like slowly walking up to you and right-clicking to, on top of your body, then a tango's not bad. So he's going to come back here in time to be able to stop the lane a little bit. He does have a Kuroki Elder Titan sitting there to help him out a little bit. We'll see how Elder Titan interacts as well. So looks like Mind Control just going to try to get some denies here. There's a deny. Another deny. Actually, that was a last hit. Was that a deny or a last hit? I can't tell. Okay, eats another tango, sitting in the lane, going up against the Shadow. Luna. She's not going to put out a ton of damage. She's attack speed is really slow at the start. Now, he does actually pull these creeps back so you can get a little bit of farm. That's a little nifty little trick. You let 1 or 2 of your own creeps go forward so that she can get 1 or 2 of those creeps and you pull 2 or 3, you can get 2 or 3 creeps, hopefully. Now, oh my gosh, that was a level 1 time lock. And it cost Shadow quite a bit of damage. Looks like the Mind Control was trying to go on Shadow. He's going to be able to get to this kill. Oh, and he actually time walks into the woods, cutting off the escape plan of the Luna. Shadow getting level 1 ganked, actually level 2 ganked there by Mind Control. And that was the power of a time lock bash. 50 extra bonus damage, plus just a few extra hits. I think she tanked a little bit of creep damage there, but not much. Disruption helped a little bit defensively, but it was not enough because she ran the wrong way. So anyway, he got a nice kill. That's going to be very helpful. Puts that into a Poor Man's Shield. Poor Man's Shield going to prevent a little bit more damage. It's also going to be able to give him a little bit extra agility. He needs that extra agility for the attack speed, which gives him the extra chance to do bash damage, which he's going to keep doing as much as possible to Shadow. Of course, Shadow, which does almost no damage, especially if you try to go through Poor Man's Shield. By the way, he also got a magic stick. He's trying to go through Poor Man's Shield. And you can just see Mind Control asserting his dominance in this lane, despite the fact that he's a melee. There's not much. The Shadow Demon is not a big laning presence here. And Elder Titan showing himself as well. Ice potentially in trouble here. Mind Control is pushing it a little bit. He might get punished here if he gets disrupted. All that creep wave can be on top of him, plus Luna, plus a Shadow Demon, but I don't think Shadow Demon, is he even level 2 yet? He's level 2, but he doesn't have any Shadow, he was poison Shadow Poison yet, so. Now, of course, Mind Control doesn't know that, so that's my little secret. But, this is a stack being pulled by the Disruptor. This is the weakness of a Disruptor in lane. Almost no power. And so Mind Control is kind of able to go ham. Kuroki taking some of this damage, the Illusions taking some of the damage, Ice finally scaling into the Shadow Poison. To try to contest this was way too late, and he's potentially going to die here. 1 bash, and that might be all she wrote. Okay, he time walks himself out of the way of that Shadow Poison. He did have 3 stacks on, he gets 4 stacks on. That's a lot of damage, folks. Don't realize that, although it's only level 1 Shadow Poison. If it was level 2 Shadow Poison, that would have been a much more dangerous proposition. He's going to go ahead and pop a salve. He knows he needs to do that. Nice thing about a magic stick in lane against a Shadow Demon is you get plenty of charges. All that Shadow Poison stacks up. So he's back at full health. It's got to be frustrating. He's got his to play against there. He's got his boots. Continuing to, you know, just get last hits here. Deny, I guess, when he can. He's not putting a ton of pressure on Shadow at the moment. I think maybe the equilibrium here has changed in the lane. Mind Control realizing he's out of regen. He's going to be a little more careful. He just wants to get some farm. He does have a TP now, and he went ahead and got a Quelling Blade, I think, to help him with these last hits on the creeps. He only does 76 damage. Not bad, actually. Now he can actually, although he's taking a lot of damage just trying to sit here, putting pressure on Shadow. So he's still nevertheless asserting his dominance, but I don't know if he's going to get, he's going to probably get what? I don't know, what does he get next? I don't remember. We'll find out. That's the point of watching them here on the Scrubcast, becoming better players by watching professionals. Or better, I guess, hero players? I don't know, you're always at the play hero, so. Elder Titan sitting in the wings, waiting in the wings. Ha! Do you get it? Waiting in the wings. Wings wing? I don't know. That's probably dumb. Okay, so it looks like Mind Control is going to go ahead and use that Quelling Blade, not just for the additional hits, but he's going to use it to cut down a tree and pull at the 450 mark. Get this creep wave to come over here. He's going to cut down that little tree, I don't know, just to prevent the additional interaction between the creeps and the neutral camp there. So he's going to pull this creep wave all the way back. He's going to get lots of good experience from this, maybe a level 6. He needs to watch the damage on the tower, which he is doing. He did pull it back during a siege engine, which is probably not the best time to pull it back. But at least he's going to get a little bit of extra farm. Actually misses that one. Kuroki helping out a little bit, trying to help get those neutral camps, punishing the Shadow for being over there on the Luna with the neutral camps. Mind Control low on health. He needs to be careful. A disruption. There it is. He popped the salve. He went ahead and bought another one. Not a bad investment. Only, what, 100 gold, 110 gold. He's able to get full health and remain in lane. And keep in mind, he's very close to that level 6. So, and he got 4 tangos. So he's going to be able to stay in lane. So 200 gold investment, and he's able to stay in lane and get his levels. Now, I think a lot of people, when they play an off lane, like myself, you know, I think about this. I'm like, oh, I don't want to use all that money for regen in lane because I want good items. I don't want to just lose it on. But the reality is the Faceless Void these days, an off-lane Faceless Void is really a walking Chronosphere. And he might even use it here if Kuroki had a level 6 perhaps, Earth Splitter, but Kuroki is not even close to that. Kuroki's only level 3. So what's happening is now Mind Control is level 6. The enemy knows that. The enemy has to be careful. And you know, they cannot engage like they might want to. They're going to have to. This changes the game really for the enemy. So in many ways, not using the Chronosphere is more powerful than using the Chronosphere. You know, if you can get a kill, sure, that's great. Get a kill, use the Chronosphere, get a kill, get some gold, get some experience, especially if you get a kill on that carry and really threaten the carry. But if you get a kill on that, say, that Shadow Demon, who's probably really poor, and then you don't have a Chronosphere, you don't have the ability to save yourself if they want to go on you, and the enemy carry is safe for 150 seconds. So they're going to play very aggressively. So you're going to lose farm, they're going to gain farm, and it's going to be a very different game. So that's the threat right there. Mind Control putting a threat on Shadow with the Chronosphere, just having it, just being in this area. Going to keep forcing Shadow out of the lane, keep his lane dominance. He went ahead and got his power treads, which is good, I think, for Void. Being able to amp up the damage attack speed during a Chronosphere, kind of temporary boost to his, well, permanent, I guess, if he wanted to be, boost to his attack speed. The bash potential is great. He's already got 3 points in bash, 3 points in time walk. Looks like Wings Shadow is going to go ahead and cast his ultimate, if I can't remember exactly the name of it, but Eclipse, right, Eclipse. On Kuroki there, but now Shadow's in trouble. Shadow, maybe that was the thing that was honestly keeping the Mind Control's Chronosphere from being used. Now Shadow has no counter attack. There's no real kill potential on Mind Control. Maybe under the tower, but no, here's what's going to happen. Looks like Fada's going to come in from the mid lane and assist Mind Control in a super easy gank on the Luna, who, if she had her ultimate, could have easily popped that and pushed back Mind Control. But Mind Control just took a few tower hits. By the way, he did pre-tango. Another example of pre-tangoing. And Fada, Kuroki, and Mind Control are all going to sit up here in the top lane and burst down this tower. And that's massive map control here against Wings, who have a Luna, and who really need that Luna to get farmed. And so this is a big sacrifice for them. Now, Wings actually counter-pushing there in the bottom lane. They've got 3 heroes, killed the Timbersaw, which is very bad. They're going to push down that tower. And so I'm curious to know if Liquid defends that. It looks like maybe not. They went ahead and used their fortification probably to help prevent that tower from going down, but it looks like Wings is determined to destroy that tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And they're going to slowly chip away at it. Shadow back in lane, probably has ultimate backup, or very close to it. 40 seconds, actually. 150 second, actually. Interesting, the cooldown for Eclipse is exactly the same as the cooldown for Chronosphere. Chronosphere goes down, let's see here, 100 and, well, I'm sorry, that's 150 gold. 130, 115, 100, and then Eclipse is always 140. Okay, so the Chronosphere goes down, Shadow's ultimate does not go down. I was looking at mana cost accidentally there. Okay, and here I am completely not paying attention. So this is actually the view of Mind Control. He is watching this fight. Oh, wait. Whoa, what happened there? Okay, so Mind Control, he's watching this fight. He goes ahead and I think he TPs into mid-tower. There, you just saw it. He starts TPing in. I think he realizes that that's going to be bad. Wants to get in this fight as soon as possible. Actually, TPs in from the bottom. When did he show up? Sometimes these players, like... Okay, so all of the cooldowns committed there against them. You can see the TP coming in. There's the TP. Boom, he just walks in. Hits Faith Beyond. Just keeps hitting them. And there's a kill. He just walked right on in. But then again, there's not much that they could do about that. By the way, at some point picks up his Morbid Mask, I guess, during that process. And he's going to go for Vlad's fantastic item. Label him to farm. Also enable them to take Roche. So, Mind Control using that as an opportunity to change lanes. He was just farming in the enemy's woods, and then as soon as Wings start attacking, he does the TP in, you know, and I'm sure Kuroki was said, you know, help, help, help. And Mind Control has the ability to get there a lot faster. It used to be the way, I know that the way that the Queen of Pain worked was her blink was so far that she would be able to, if you had the tower, she would be able to TP in from almost anywhere and assist in a fight. And so, here, example, he's actually pinging this out. Innocent's caught, going to be caught in the Chronosphere. One opening round bash, that's potentially going to be a dead Innocence. Mind Control choosing not to take that fight. Tread swapping there to, I guess, reduce the cooldown of his Time Walk. And watch him Tread swap, which is back to his Power Treads, I'm sorry, the Agility. Get the extra hits. Not switching to, and by the way, picked up his Vlad's already, so he's doing well. That kill on Tidehunter, I'm sure, helped because I have a feeling Tidehunter got a kill, a little bit of a bounty on his head from killing a member of Liquid's team. Bot pushing mid tower. Mind Control looking for an initiation here, but he's probably going to wait till the Vlad's comes up. Vlad's going to be on the bird. They're rushing the bird here. Yep, there he goes. He's going to time walk up here, see if he can get some rune control at 12 minutes. Potentially contest. He's got a Chronosphere. He's able to get to it. That bird's going to be there pretty quickly, and looks like the Wings is not going to try to contest that rune. So he's trying to be a team player here. He got the Vlads to help out his team and to help out himself, help out Roche, get Roche on, and be able to keep farming in lane constantly. That's that regen he needs, that health regen. Back up to Power Treads, by the way, which is interesting. I think that's a cue. It tells us that he is ready to jump in there. He does not need anything other than health for Chronosphere. So, and here's an initiation by Blink onto the Timbersaw. Looks like Wings backing up. Liquid being pulled in several different directions here. Fada the target of a disruption. Mind Control sitting in his strength treads. He is definitely interested in initiation. You can just tell by his movements, his furtive movements. Furtive. There's a word for you, folks. Furtive movements, he's ready to time walk in. He's got the Vlads. He's at a power spike in his current build, in his current item purchases. Here's a Chronosphere. Oh, he is looking for the backline Chronosphere on top of that Storm Spirit. Where are you, Blink? Where are you? Mind Control going to find you. And there it is, Chronosphere right on top of Blink. He doesn't time walk in there. He just pops the Chronosphere on top of Blink. And there's 3, a Chakra plus a Lion alt plus the Chronosphere all committed onto the Storm Spirit to get the kill. Mind Control going to probably chase down. Not going to chase down. He's going to switch to farming probably. Still in his power treads, you notice. Now he's going to switch back to the intelligence treads. He's always in power treads, folks. Intelligence to cast this time walk, agility to hit the creeps. Back to strength when he's potentially going to get hit. He's not doing anything. Back to this when he wants, back to int when he wants to potentially time walk. Back to agility when he wants to hit creeps. And Vlad's also another thing that I think that I didn't really think about is Vlad's also helps him to take the Ancients. So now they're able to use these Ancients. Now, at some point, the Ancients can be farmed by, and it's interesting, he just like occasionally like Quelling Blades a tree. I don't know if that's like strategic, tactical, I don't know what that's all about, but he's eliminating trees for his friend to use. So leave the trees alone. Of course, the trees are coming to get you, Timbersaw, and maybe he's helping out his friend. One tree at a time. Probably just a funny little tick, you know, Mind Control, just having fun. Apparently, playing a game against The Wings Gaming is not resource intensive enough for his brain. He needs to occupy it even further. He actually picks up 2 scrolls here. I probably purchased one just to be sure he didn't lose unreliable gold when he died. I thought he was going to potentially die. He's not died yet. He's 1-0-3 at the moment. Wing Shadow pushing top. Mind Control sitting around with his strength treads on, ready to initiate, but he doesn't have a Chronosphere, so he's going to have to go in there and try to do something about this. Faith Beyond Tidehunter just hitting the Lion, and there's a huge amount of damage coming out from the Timbersaw. I hear an ultimate coming out from the Dusa. Mind Control just kind of walking around hitting folks. Going to hit Faith Beyond if he can. He's staying out of the horde of the masses there. He's going to hit Innocence and then time walk away, I guess, to avoid the Eclipse damage. But he also could have absorbed that. Here's the Chronosphere. Finally, the Chronosphere is online, just waiting for that. He wouldn't survive till that got online. That explains his leaving. Hits the enemies a few times. Ice potentially going to go down. Shadow going to go down. One more hit. There's the hit. There's going to be a time walk into Ice. Get that last hit or 2. Ice turning around and getting stuck. And is going to time walk. Is he going to get the kill? Time walk right next to him. And 2 hits and he's dead. So he actually got 2 kills there and turned around that entire fight thanks to just waiting around. I think it just goes to show you it really is. Faceless Void really is a walking Chronosphere. I mean, he needs to be in fight. Now he has Vlad, so that's nice. It's going to be helpful. His presence in the fight is going to be helpful. He doesn't want to die by casting his Time Dilation. He finally scaled into that. I'm not sure when he did that. Time Dilation preventing the enemy from being able to use cooldowns, and it slows their movement and attack speed by 8%. Duration is 6 seconds up to 12 seconds. Pretty good item. Actually, it works a little differently than that. Faceless Void traps all nearby enemies in a Time Dilation field for, and then 6 to 12 seconds, freezing their cooldowns and slowing their movement attack speed by 8% for each cooldown frozen. So, you know, somebody like, say, a standard hero that has 4, that's going to be 4 cooldowns potentially frozen if the cooldown is frozen. See, I don't know if that prevents them from being able to cast or if it just prevents their cooldowns from cooling down. I think it prevents them from being able to cast, but I'm not entirely sure. I've actually not practiced that. I have not played a lot of Void. That's what happens when you're a scrub. You don't really know how this works. So next time he uses it, I'll kind of see what's going on. So anyway, the Vlad's, you know, his presence in the fight is made better by Vlad's, and he doesn't want to die, especially if the Chronosphere is about to come up. He's about to turn the fight. So he doesn't want to just go in there just last hit and getting, you know, just a few last hits in there, which is not going to be all that beneficial. He last hit when he's not exposed, but he doesn't want to expose. He wants to stay out of danger. Now he's got his best initiation tool, the Blink Dagger. Time Walk, a low cooldown, little jump forward, very nice, but not very far. Look at the jump speed or the jump distance on that. Not very far. It looks like there's going to be a TP in. Jarak's going to smoke everybody up. They're going to follow. This is a bait. Fada going to go for the 12-minute or 18-minute rune, and perfect setup there. If anybody were to initiate on Fada, Mind Control sitting right behind Fada, ready to blink in, and Chronosphere. Chronosphere is online. And that's just an example of a casual bait by Liquid. That kind of stuff, I'm sure, wins them games because they have all their cooldowns online. And if one person tries to go, or all their cooldowns are ready to go, and if one person tries to go on Medusa, Medusa's just going to ult. Faceless Void is just going to blink in a Chronosphere, and there's a bunch of people turned stone, and very nasty teamfight result from Wings. One thing Wings does not have is great teamfight. I mean, that's why they brought in a Tidehunter. So that is their only team fight. Now, it's a great team fight, of course, but once he pops that, that's pretty much it. Mind Control offering a similar team fight option with the Chronosphere, but they also have a Timbersaw, they also have the Dusa Ultimate, and the Elder Titan Earth Splitter and Echo Stomp. So plenty of team fight potential on Liquid. They want to bait these team fights. They want to do everything they can to have team fights, and so far the team fights that have gone on have been in Liquid's favor, except for I think one of the first initial team fights. So Liquid gonna gang up here on the Ancients, gonna give Kuroki some much needed levels and much needed gold probably. He's ready for his Solar Crest. He's got the medallion, that's gonna be nice. Put that on a Dusa. I heard it called the Superman strategy, where you just get all your supports kind of helping out the one carry to rule them all. So Mind Control just farming in the woods, constantly farming. He needs that farm. He wants to get his Blink Dagger. He wants to get big items. He's going to want to get probably an Assault Curios. In this case, he's going to want to get a Manta. Yeah, he's going to get a Manta, and that's because of the way the Luna pushes. He wants to be able to kind of counter the Luna push. I think maybe there's going to be a silence here on the Storm Spirit. No, Storm Spirit going for a Bloodstone, not going to go for a Orchid, which would I think is a much better. The Bloodstone's a much better option than that. So he doesn't have to worry about being silenced. So he's not using the Manta for getting out of his silence. And here's a a Time Walk into a smoke here. Liquid going to go around, trying to flank or envelop the enemy, looking in the jungle, and looks like the enemy is actually down in their jungle. This is another great example of why oftentimes you just don't want to be in your own jungle at this time of the game, and when you go to their jungle, you might not find them either. Everybody's in each other's jungle. Okay, now here is exactly the kind of fight that Liquid want. They're ready to initiate. Mind Control sitting in the woods. He's waiting. Just waiting for a really good opportunity to initiate. He has the Blink Dagger. Nobody knows he's in here, so they're going to try to bait out this team fight. He's going to be able to come from behind. There's a Courier. Should you get a Courier snipe? Here he is. He's going to blink out, get the Courier. One hit, and blinks forward. Two hits. There it is. Courier snipe. Now the enemies immediately kind of look back, realize what happened, realize there was a Faceless Void on the back lines. They're not too scared. Mind Control going to totally switch positions on them, probably confuse the hell out of them, at least for a few seconds, although the opportunity for surprise is probably over. They know that he's probably not behind them. That would be dumb at this point. So look at the positioning. You got Jerax on high ground, ready to hex somebody up. We've got Kuroki Echo slamming people, Echo stomping people. Mind Control just waiting for that initiation. Shadow does not have an escape tool capable of escaping the Chronosphere, so all he needs to do is blink in. And here is the siege engine of Wings. This is I've seen this before. It's really powerful. I actually think I want to cover it if I can go find the game where it was really, I think it was used against, I don't remember who it was used against. But it's basically you should just Shadow Demon Disruption the Luna. You just create these little illusions, and they do stupid, sick damage. And then she gets a Manta, and there's like 4 of those friggin' things running around, 5 of those things running around, and it's so stupid how much damage she can do. Okay, so there it is. There's initiation by Faith Beyond with the ultimate. Medusa's going to ult herself, and there's the 2 to 3 man Chronosphere. They're going to blow up Shadow here. Disruption on Shadow to protect Shadow for a moment, but then Mind Control going to go for Innocence, kill Innocence. Mind Control just going to walk up here and kill Ice. Faith Beyond going to suffer for his insolence. He's going to get killed, assuredly. He cannot escape the Time Walk and Blink Dagger of Mind Control. Maybe? Where'd he go? Nope. Gone. That was clever. And I know how it happened because I watched the game, but you know, from Liquid's perspective, they're just like, damn, that guy's good. How did he, what the, where'd he go? So instead, they're going to use this as an opportunity to push. And there he is. He makes a reappearance. By the way, I did not have a chance to see how he was using time dilation. I really need to go back and slow play one of these team fights just to be sure that I catch how he's using dilation. Top of man going to die in his own jungle, of course. That's where he is. Best place for a Timbersaw to be farming, either in the enemy jungle or in his own jungle. All those ability to Timber Chain to his safety, but not going to help him against a triple threat here of a stunning ogre, a disrupting shadow demon, and the storm spirits little electric vortex. Suck him in and kill him. So mind control basically allowing, he's just farming this area right here. He can quickly get to these two spots. He has the ability to do this. He's always going to be in range of the enemy's jungle and his teammates. He can very quickly get to a fight. His Chronospheres now be online, so he's going to start going back to where his teammates are. He did pick up the Yasha. Quickly jump out of here probably. Although his team just left the jungle. They do have a ward. Really good vision on that tower up there. Looks like that's going to be maybe the next push spot. They do have problems there on their own bottom tower, especially if there's going to be a Luna pushing things out. Mind control sitting on his power treads, looking for an initiation. Looks like Fata finding the initiation on bottom. The top man's going to die. And where's the Chronosphere? And that is a 4-man Chronosphere into a Fata ultimate. And there's an Earth Splitter as well. This is bad news for Wings. Get the hell out. Okay, so that was the time dilation, slow. So I want to just go back and just see from his perspective, the Storm Spirit's perspective, what happened. So he's just zip-zapping around. He gets caught in the Chronosphere. Is that time dilation? No, there's time lock. There's the time dilation. So you see his stuff is already, so he can use Ball Lightning if he wanted to, I think. He is slowed, I think his attack speed is slowed, and his stuff is still cooling down. Okay, so it was cooling down. Let's watch it again. Watch it in slow-mo. Okay. Time dilation. Boom. All of a sudden, his cooldowns are much, 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 much higher. So it doesn't stop him from using his abilities, but it dramatically increases their cooldown. Time dilation ended and the electric vortex got much better. So he was out of mana there, by the way. That's the reason why he really died. And then mind control just going to clean up here on Innocence. Yeah, kills Blink. Innocence is a dead man. A dead ogre. He's not a man. He's actually 2 ogres. He's a double-headed ogre. And that is one of the amazing powers of the initiating powers of a Faceless Void. He can blink to initiate, and if he can't blink, he can always time walk. That's, and he can always time dilation too to prevent people from using their abilities to get on him. It's really nasty. If you use your abilities to get onto mind control, to get away from mind control, time dilation really helps. Time dilation also helps because of the movement and attack speed slow. It's a percent based upon their currently frozen cooldowns. It's beyond chasing Fada there. Stone Gaze offline. Gonna enable and embolden Wings. The only online ultimate is the Lion and the Timbersaw. The Lion is dead. Timbersaw is sitting around. Mind Control used that brief opportunity to farm. I think they thought about doing Roshan, but I think Roshan was just a little too big of a goal for them. Not going to be able to get that done in time. So instead he goes back to farming this area over here. He basically stays in the off lane. He just sits over there, farms the Ancients, farms his jungle, pushes the lane, and returns. And that's actually really effective. Because then when the team needs him, he comes back, blinks back, or he TPs back, whatever it is, There is some sort of a smoke or some sort of a smoke gank. The team fight now. Dusa is online. Stone Gaze is online. Be very careful. The Chronosphere right on top. Go to an Earth Splitter. Onto a Dusa ultimate. No. And then Mind Control is just going to take the Roshan. He's already pulled open a spot. But is he not going to get it? No! The Tidehunter is able to ultimate and get it. So instead, Mind Control is just going to jump in. He's going to hit the Shadow Demon a few times. Not going to need to cast any other spells to kill that Innocence. Poor Innocence. Always the last one to live because he's so darn tanky. He gets a lot of stuff done, but his whole team dies. There's nothing to do about that. So Tidehunter, the only one surviving that. A valiant attempt there by... Who was playing Tidehunter right now? Faith Beyond, that's right. I've said that many times. We think I'd remember.
Radiant's top tower is
So
under
Mind
attack.
Control. Oh, here's an Ancient stack. This is going to be nice. Mind Control going to get in here. Going to take some of the aggro. Uses Vlad's to effect. Fada's going to go ahead and cleave down these big, fat stone Ancients with all their skinny, scary
Dire's bottom tower is under
friends.
attack.
At this point, Mind Control really kind of just playing the main role of Initiator. And then everything else is follow-up. Hiroki gonna die over here in the jungle. Faceless Void, no TP there on Mind Control. Instead, he has 2 forms of jump. He finally got his Manta. And he's slowly making his way. He did grab a TP there from the Courier. He's gonna initiate. Looks like Jerax is gonna body block Faith Beyond, but Faith Beyond is so dead. And if he can get out again, is he gonna be able to escape again? Okay, so actually that was gonna be Mind Control actually finds him by blinking forward and then time walking back. Faith Beyond, sorry, no shell, no Kraken shell is gonna be able to protect you from all that damage. Mind Control pointing out there's an invisibility rune. He doesn't want to be the one, I think, to grab that. He's probably gonna give that to who? Who's going to grab that? Ah, looks like the Deuce is going to grab that. I think she might have a bottle, so that probably helps. Yeah, she does have a bottle. Mind Control back to doing what he's been doing the whole game. And this, folks, is so easy. I mean, this is like why you have a Scrubcast, right? You just sit back, drink your whatever you're drinking, and watch Mind Control sit back and jungle in his starting zone. And then when the team says, hey, let's go do something, he's like, all right, guys, let's go. And then he participates. Gets a little bottle charge there from Fada, who was in Viz, and that's going to help Mind Control have enough mana for a Chronosphere. Looks like they're sensing that maybe there's some activity going on in their own jungle. Maybe they saw some enemies down here, I'm not sure. Mind Control kind of walking in, seeing what he can see. He sees the little bird die, the Wild Wing Ripper. It's not a little bird, it's actually the big bird. You know, that kind of the Velociraptor of the Dota game here.
Dire's structures are fortified.
So as soon as they left mid lane, looks like Wings can be pushing it on mid lane. And Faceless Void actually grabbed the last hit on the tower with his illusions. With the power of the Manta style, you can finish off towers without exposing yourself. And exposing yourself, I mean endangering yourself. Exposing yourself to danger. Exposing yourself is not a good idea. Don't do that.
Radiant's top tower has been
So he would be farming were it not for the fact that there's a lot of heroes here in the mid lane. Shadow is in a very bad situation. That is a blind Chronosphere by Mind Control. He knows Shadow does not have any escapes. He's going to Manta style in, and that's going to be a Chakra used on top of Shadow. Shadow's going to die. There's the Shadow Demon going to die. Faith Beyond, you're so dead. You're always dead. I mean, not always. He actually has had some really good escapes here, but he is never going to be able to get a escape on this one. Not with all those enemies right on the trail. And this is, Wings have died, I think, almost every single time they have initiated a team fight. They have died primarily to this Chronosphere. You catch 2 people in a Chronosphere these days, and unless they have something going on while they're in a Chronosphere, like, say, an axe, which I think his axe swings still go through the Chronosphere, even if he's chronoed. Unless you got something you can do during a Chronosphere, like, I don't know, have a Naga Siren start casting her ultimate or something like that, you have to deal with a 1 or 2 man Chronosphere. And losing 1 or 2 people when you already don't have a significant amount of team fight is absolutely dire a situation. It's very, very bad. So they're going to lose a number of... They lose the team fight, they lose the They lose the tower. Ice gonna die. Very horrible, horrible death. He's down for 45 seconds. Not a compelling hero right now. Not really able to do much. I don't think he has an Aether Lens. Liquid going to push down these tower. Mind Control jumping back to avoid any kind of initiation attempt by Wings. He wants to be able to counter-initiate. Time Walk. There's a courier. He spots. He's going to be able to get it. Is he going to be able to get it? He blink in. Blinks, hits, and it's dead. 900 gold. Probably a big item. We'll see what that was. And Mind Control doing the work. Doing the work. Continuing his farm. He's definitely a core in this game. I think he's playing a 2 position here. And he has that potential in the middle of a Chronosphere. He can do a lot of damage. He's already has the Manta style. And the question is, what's he go for next? He has the potential of a big item, maybe a Butterfly. Give him a big damage boost. Survivability boost. That would be really good. Doesn't seem to be having any problems surviving, though. So maybe a full-blown damage item would be fantastic. The team fight, he seems to be having problems with. Well, he doesn't seem to be having any problems with the team fight. Maybe mana issues, perhaps. A little something with a little bit of mana in it. I don't know. Maybe a Hex. I'm not sure what he's going to do. But right now he's just scouting out the neighborhood, seeing what's going on, seeing if he can find an enemy. He does have the Chronosphere up. He's ready to go. He might go for Eggs. That'll give him a little bit of mana, a little bit of extra survivability. And Jarak's going to get a Hex on the Blink. Blink is going to be able to get out of here, though. If he doesn't overstay as welcome, and if that's a, oh my gosh, a Blink Chronosphere on top of a Storm Spirit, on top of an Earth Splitter with a Medusa friend, that is a mistake. I know Blink is a really good player, but they're playing against, he's playing against Liquid. He didn't know where the enemies were. He didn't kill the Lion all that quickly. He actually did kill the Lion, but it was not worth his life. Storm Spirit, come on. I mean, I know he gets the benefit of the Bloodstone charges, and he wants to be able to get those, and so he can start steamrolling, but it's not going to happen. Fusel Blade, okay. I'm told one of the most efficient damage items in the game. So this does also have a Purge, so for whatever reason he was silenced, he'd be able to get out of that. If he had any kind of, I don't know, like anti-physical damage spell, like an Anchor Smash, he can get out of that too. That's, in my opinion, a big waste of a Purge, which is only 8 charges. Good agility. 25 agility, up 10 intelligence, a little bit of mana regen, a little bit of damage. The mana break, so each attack burns 40 mana, deals the same amount of physical damage. Burns 20 mana per attack from melee illusions. So his illusions are going to do damage, or burn mana and do damage, and his attacks are going to hit even harder. So he's going to be able to do, 40 physical extra damage on passive, plus the additional agility bonus. Plus he's got the Purge slow if he needs to use it. Plus he's got the Dispel basically on himself if he needs to use it. So a really great item if you, I think, use it properly. Also upgradable. 2-second cooldown. Purge range is huge. 600 for Purge range. Look at that. That's not bad. I mean, why would you need a... You're that far away from somebody. He's never really going to need that. I think the Purge range is being able to slow the enemy down is not as important for him. He's got the ability to Time Walk and Blink. So look at the position. Letting Dusa take front line. Also Matumba Man, who has that kind of regen, that tankiness. Looks like Mind Control playing the power, as along with Kuroki, playing the role of a counter-initiator. Also sieging towers with the Manta style. He's got his power treads on. He is ready to go, ready for the Blink as soon as Wings initiate. He's not paying attention to what's going on. Now he is. He sees the damage going on to that tower. They don't need to do much here. They don't need to really commit. They just need to let the Medusa continue to do damage. Until Wings initiate, Medusa's just going to continue to do damage and take out the racks, the barracks. So Wings have to do something. They know that. But they know that as soon as they do, there's a counter-initiation. They know there's a Chronosphere. They know there's a Medusa Stone Gaze. And it's the end of the day. So Vada very tanky. There's Disruption. This might be the start of it. There's a Storm Spirit initiation. Here it is. And they're baiting out the Chronosphere. Finally, Stone Gaze comes in. What is it? What's it going to be, Mind Control? They kill the rack, so they get close to it. Waiting for it. So maybe the counter initiation is going to occur outside the base. Trying to chase Liquid out. Liquid don't need to fight this. They put a decent amount of damage on the racks. They just need to get out.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That's successful. And, I think, when I'm playing a lot of these initiation heroes, I'm the one that loses it for my team because I'm like, oh, I saw 2 heroes jump forward. I'm going to initiate. And the reality is that's not what you're supposed to do. if you're doing damage to the tower, just keep it up. There's no need to do anything else. Keep up the damage and be ready to counter-initiate. And if they do initiate on you, which they need to do to stop the damage to the tower, then just counter-initiate and then take them. That's how you wait. That's how you wait it out. So Wing's going to have to recover from this base siege. Liquid taking advantage, killing the Roshan. Timbersaw being kind of an annoying, powerful, almost unkillable scout. Dusa just sitting out here farming. Mind Control playing the role of counter initiation. You can see what I'm looking exactly what he's looking at. He's spending his time looking at what's right in front of him here. Interesting how he is looking. I would be looking ahead a little bit, but I think he's really careful to watch his positioning. He doesn't want to get out of position. He's staying on top of the high ground. And there is the ultimate from Faith Beyond. He's going to be able to... looks like they're going to go on Matumba Man. They're going to cast everything. There it is. Blink forward. Chronosphere. There goes one. Shadow going to be disrupted. Earth Splitter on top of Shadow. Going to stop that. Ice going to die to a Mind Control. And there's the Dusa ultimate up again. Stonegate is going to stop potentially Shadow. No, Innocence turned to stone. One couple right click, 2 clicks from Mind Control, and that's the end of Innocence. And, oh my gosh, how did he find him? Was that just pure luck? How did he know he was over there? Well, that was brilliant, whatever it was. Mind Control finding the Storm Spirit somehow, some way. Time walks away from this one, and damage to Wings is done. They might have decent high ground defense with the Luna, with the Tide Hunter, but once that Tide commits commits his Ravage, that's it. That's the whole game, basically, for Wings. That is their entire team fight. And if Liquid can back off from that and not die during a Ravage, then Liquid have all the team fight to counter that. All the team fight's still online, and they have the base siege potential. Wings, should they be in a position to siege Liquid's base, would do pretty well. Luna has got a Manta. She's got her Eagle Song, decent amount of agility. Look, Illusion's doing a little bit of damage. And if you have, those are probably the Manta Illusions, but if you have the Shadow Demon Illusions, they do much more damage. Shadow Demon Illusions deal 75% damage. That's actually a lot. That is a lot. Especially on a hero like Luna and with her cleave damage. So it's like more than that because you've got 2 of them. They pop out. Each one's doing 75% damage. But the 75% damage multiplied by the little glaive factor. So it's really good. It's more than 70. It's like 150% damage plus, you know, another probably 50. I don't know how the math works out, but once again, here's the siege. This is a really careful siege by Liquid. They're allowing the 2 big tanky frontliners to stay up front. Matumba Man trying to zone people out. Shadow going to get force staff forward and then if he gets force staff forward, somebody force staffs him back to the base, but Lion blows him up. That's no cooldown on the Shadow there. Storm Spirit going to try to get in the fight, but jumps right back out, trying to do damage. There's Mind Control going to initiate in the Chronosphere. He's going to kill the Ice during the course of a Chronosphere and Innocence with an Earth Splitter to assist. And that's it. That's the game. Yet another Chronosphere, yet more kills. Tidebringer, the Tidebringer. Tide looking for the last Ravage, trying to get it off, get his stats in. And so that's how you play, at least an off-lane, Faceless Void. Well done by Mind Control, and boy has he become good at playing this hero. He knows exactly what to do throughout the game. He rarely does anything differently than what he's supposed to be doing. I mean, I'm usually kind of I don't have mind control. I kind of have mind lack of control. I just kind of do whatever there. And you know, I think this is a good game to watch a Faceless Void. Every single one of those Chronospheres was effective. Every single one. And you saw how he used it early on kind of to intimidate the lane. In the lane, he focused on getting regen so he could get his early Chronosphere, because once he has a Chronosphere, he's a dangerous weapon. He can get in that lane, he can intimidate the enemy. They actually got an early kill on Luna thanks to a help from Kuroki, but that was a misplay, I think, by Shadow. Nevertheless, you know, eventually Faceless Void got his Chronosphere, and was intimidating Luna. As soon as Luna used her ultimate on Kuroki, Mind Control said, yeah, well, you don't have any way to prevent me from killing you, or at least you have nothing that scares me, so I'm going to go kill you. And so as soon as Kuroki came back from being killed, Faceless Void went in there with Kuroki and killed Luna. And I think that early gank really put a lot of damage. Hurt Wings Gaming a lot. And then, the team fights. In that one team fight, he just basically TPs in and finds the team fight late to the game, but he finds it, and that Chronosphere, he's able to do a lot of damage. All he needs is kind of one friend to help him do damage, and that's going to be enough. And he got 2 kills, really totally changed the team fight on that one. And then the other fight, he basically avoided hitting anybody and avoided massive damage. He didn't want to die. He avoided dying so that he could wait just till his Chronosphere got off cooldown, and then got another Chronosphere, and then killed 2 more heroes, and then jumped in and killed 2 more heroes. So 4 people basically killed by the Faceless Void in that fight. And then throughout the game, he was using it effectively to defeat the very weak team fight potential of Wings Gaming. I think that's maybe what you see here as the real role of a Faceless Void. You set up lots of kills for a carry. You really disrupt the enemy because they can't walk into a Chronosphere. You got a 4-man Chronosphere in one of those fights, and what do? Your whole team is stuck in a Chronosphere. And then you're in disarray immediately after, and he's got the time lapse to stop your cooldowns. And for somebody like a Storm Spirit that relies on very low cooldowns, time lapse is devastating. Absolutely devastating. Also, the Shadow Demon the same way, Ogre Magi the same way. Great hero to stop and abuse small, little, important cooldowns. And a great hero to basically force the enemy to get at least 2 teamfight heroes. This was a game where Wings had 1 teamfight hero, and that teamfight hero was shut down. All he had to he ulted, and that was it. That's really all there was to it. Well, Faceless Void just waited for the ultimate and then Chronosphere, because most of the time you can't kill all the enemies. If you're Wings, you can't kill all the enemies in the middle of a Tidehunter or in the middle of a Tidehunter Ravage or immediately after you. You're going to get Chronosphere. And usually Faceless Void's positioning, Mind Control's positioning, was such that he was out of fight during the Tide Ravage. And even if he was hit by the Ravage, he was in the very end of the Ravage. And Wings had a trouble getting to the Void, and they were more focused on the 2 tanky frontliners. So if you see Void as a hero that can kind of counter-initiate, you let your tanky frontliners do the heavy lifting, at least on the front end, and then you can turn fights with Faceless Void. I think that is such a powerful way to play a team fight, to play teams, or to get into these team fights, that it's very hard to deal with. And he does so much work. He farms pretty effectively once he gets a Vlad's. He can take Roshan once he gets a Vlad's. He's constantly everywhere on the map. He TPs in, he time walks, he blinks, and he's there. And if he farms, he keeps that up, he's eventually going to be able to do other things as well. He had a Mantis style. He was able to help counter the Luna push. He had a Diffusal Blade, which is really nice, doing lots of damage to not just mana damage, but actual damage through the Diffusal Blade. He has the Purge, which is all kinds of utility to it. We talked about that. And he's going to go for a Butterfly next. He already had the Talisman of Evasion. Very nice. Allow him to live long enough through a Tide ult so he can get a kill. And he did the Power Treads to make his game a little bit more efficient. So I think anybody can play this kind of a Faceless Void if you have the team fight for it, I think, or if you have the team set up for it. Right? If you're playing with a team that just doesn't play well together, if just a bunch of scrubs out there in some stupid pub, well, there you go. Good luck playing your Faceless Void. You're going to have to go the Purge Faceless Void route? You basically build a Vanguard and then go for a Radiance, which makes you a very effective. You basically kill people in a Chronosphere by yourself. But that's, you can't really do that if you're an off-lane Faceless Void. So you get a lot more value out of a Faceless Void if he's in the off-lane and you got other people helping you out on occasion, like an Elder Titan. And you got your safe lane taken care of with a Medusa and a Lion. So there you go, folks. Good luck in your Faceless Void games. Have fun, and don't be a scrub.